What's going on, fam?
What's up? What's up? College
Back.
guys talking ball, episode 11, man.
Welcome back. We were
Yep.
kind of on a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
I haven't recorded in like 6 days. Had a long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
I'm working on a little
A little flu
cold
game.
flu game ish. Might have to pull two out this week, but hey, that's what we do. That's what we do. We do it for the viewers, man.
Yeah, but let's get right into it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we have a new champion.
Houston
Congratulations
Astros.
to the 2022 Houston Astros. They are World Series champs. Um, just remarkable. We had two we had two huge college football games took place on Saturday. Another great NFL Sunday. Those never disappoint. And the last NBA, team unbeaten goes down.
Yeah,
And we'll touch on it all next 40 minutes.
for sure. For sure. Yeah, this hiatus for us, there's been some good sports, man, all across the board.
Guys,
For me, I'm just my biggest takeaway from the last week or so is the clarity that college football has gotten, with the result of some of the games last Saturday. So I guess with that, man, let's recap the World Series. Let's give the Astros their flowers, man.
yeah, dude, I think they deserve their flowers. They played great all series. But yeah, the Astros, they silence every hater known to the
Absolutely.
baseball world, known to the sports world. After cheating, after getting pummeled into the ground by the media for a few years, the Stros topped the Phillies 6 games. I guess I'll start, but let's get into some takeaways from this series,
For
that
sure.
we
For
had,
sure.
some players that really stepped up. So I guess I'll just, go ahead and start with a guy I think, really stepped up. For me, it's Framber Valdez. I mean, we've kind of talked about it off air. I will die climbing a hill to defend this guy. Um, I think he's the best left-handed starting pitcher in baseball. It's close. It's up for debate for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but this is just incredible, like what he did in the playoffs, what he did in the World Series. So I'll start with this. Not only does he have a crazy underrated regular season, 17-6, 2.82 ERA. I mean, he was a workhorse. Pitched 200 innings for the Astros. He arguably has an even better postseason. Two starts in the World Series where he goes 12 innings pitched and only gives up two earned runs. And in the
Beast, man.
championship series, he only had one start because they swept the Yankees. 7 innings, no earned runs. I mean, he's a true horse. And the more I think about it, the more he probably should have won World Series MVP. Not saying Pena didn't deserve it, but Framber was that guy.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Valdez is a guy, I kind of even laughed when you brought up the other day, like he's the best starting lefty. But when you bring up numbers like that, dude, he really, and it's not only the regular season numbers, which you talked about that nobody's talking about. It's the postseason dominance, man. And I gotta give my hat off to you, man. I think I can agree now, not maybe that they won, that they, he's the best lefty in baseball. For me, my takeaway, I'm actually happy for the Houston organization. Obviously, it's easy for me to be that way, not that the Braves beat them last year, but
Yeah.
the Astros got a lot of crap, for the cheating scandal, and rightfully so at the time, but that was,
And
more
it's
than 5, 6 years ago at this point. And most of the guys that just won that ring for the Astros weren't players on that team. And even the guys that were on that team, they've had to show that they're, players without the cheating. And they've shown that Altuve, Bregman, all those guys. So what I have to say is this is really one of the more unsung, like, comeback resilient stories that everybody wants to talk about these underdog teams. But the Astros, from where they were, all the booing and trash talking and all that, rightfully they deserved it, but they definitely have come right back out of the mud and shown the MLB and the world that this is the best organization in baseball for sure.
Yeah, and I think you need to give a little toast, like not a toast, but as we should both know, I think bullpens win in the playoffs. They have for the last few years. Team kind of with the most, I don't want to say best bullpen. The Astros do have the best bullpen, but the bullpen that comes up in the biggest spots limits the least amount of runs. Usually that team is going to be sitting pretty good. And this Astros team just had a plethora of guys. I mean, Abreu, Neris, Montero, Presley, Stanek.
Presley. Yep.
I mean, I don't think they had one lefty. It didn't matter because
Right.
they shut out everyone that they faced. And I think we should have seen it coming when they played the Mariners and went 18 innings. Their bullpen had like 12
So
or
many guys.
13
Yep. Yep.
shutout innings. Like that's just it's just incredible. Let's talk
Yeah.
about Jordan for a second. I mean, two of the biggest homers, in the postseason, two of the
Right,
three, I should say. I mean, I saw it live in a
right.
bar in Athens. I think, did you see it live or?
You said
I think
something
I
about
told
it
you
to
about
me
it.
at the
Yeah,
time. Yeah, I didn't
it
see it,
was
but
great. I mean, it's all you can wish for in sports or in baseball, I should say. The Phillies go to their lefty, their horse all postseason, Alvarado,
wow.
and it's like a 3-1 count, and he grooves Jordan a fastball, and it's just hammered.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, Jordan, he stepped up. We were making that argument the other day that would you rather have a guy in the postseason hit 400 with like, maybe one or no homers, or have a guy like Jordan? I'm not exactly sure his average, but we know he
It
wasn't hitting
was it
400.
wasn't that high, yeah.
But he had two huge moments in the biggest moments. I think I'd rather have a guy like Jordan because home runs are like gold in the postseason.
I agree with you,
Whether you're
especially.
at home or on the road, they're either crowd silencers or they bring your crowd back into the game because that's what baseball fans like to see. So yeah, definitely shout out Jordan, man. He was a beast.
In this game specifically, it was game 6. They were down a run, 3-run homer. I mean, that was like you said, it'll bring a crowd to life. This one was kind of like a finisher, a
Right,
finishing
it was a
move.
dagger, almost a
The
dagger.
Phillies they weren't going to score
No.
off the Astros bullpen. Framber pitched great. Yeah. So I guess we should talk about the Phillies a little. I mean, do you
Well,
have anything else to say
I
about the
mean, I,
Astros?
I wanted to, I just think it's funny how an organization like the Astros, you let go of a guy like Carlos Correa, who, I'm not gonna, he's a multiple time All Star, but he's on a possible Hall of Fame trajectory.
Mhm.
He's one of the best players in our game today, and you bring up Jeremy Pena. Okay, well, I guess we didn't need Correa. He's gonna win World Series MVP. So shout out to Pena as well, man. The Astros are, they're fun to watch, fun guys. But as far as the Phillies go, they're just really bad on the road, and the statistics didn't lie all year, and they got burnt. What do you think, TJ? You agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I think the Phillies showed their true colors. I have it here. Last 3 games of the series, they get held to 0 runs when they got no hit, 2 runs and 1 run.
And World Series,
That's
I mean, World
really
Series
just
games,
that's
like
not good enough. The Astros, they really didn't even have to do that much, on offense, I guess. And I don't want to downplay anything they did or any of the moments they had this October because it truly was a
they
pretty
they had a great
great
run.
story, the Phillies. But their players, man, they just didn't step up in the World Series. Hoskins, the 120 average, Realmuto 167, Harper, and even Harper 200.
Right.
It's not enough hits, man. Castellanos didn't have a good average. I mean, their bottom of the lineup kind of sucked too. It's
Right.
just, it wasn't, I guess at the end, it just wasn't really a recipe for winning, I'd
Well,
say.
well, well. Just baseball is a game. It's long season. There's a reason they play 7 games in the postseason. Like, usually the probabilities and the statistics show themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
And unfortunately for the Phillies, they kind of played an outlier, offensively up until the last 3 games of the World Series, and that was it. That's the thing. That's the thing about baseball. It's so great, and it also sucks. You have to, if you're hot, you have to stay that way, and it's
yeah. And
not it's
it's,
not easy to do
it's
that,
the
especially
hardest game to stay hot in.
that they're a
No.
195 hitting team on the road. Like that's
And I guess like I don't want to compare it to other sports and stuff, but you look at a sport like football, Patrick Mahomes doesn't hit 200. You know what I mean?
well,
Like
in football you can
he's
impose your will.
always,
You can
yeah.
impose your will. Baseball, that's the difference. You can't just if you're not hitting, you're not hitting. If
And
nobody's hitting, nobody's hitting. It is what it is, and it sucks. If you're in the Phillies position, it sucks. But they really weren't that good of a team, anyways.
Okay, so
Let's
I
kiss.
guess
I guess yeah. Let's kiss
so
baseball goodbye, man.
I think this will be the last remarks for us. I think what we should do, we're having Mikey on tomorrow. I think we should give him a section to where he talks about
Yeah, we'll
how
talk
he
about some
thinks.
hot stuff. We'll talk some hot
But
stuff tomorrow.
I think this is going to be it for us as far as like any last baseball remarks. I mean, it's the end of the season. Hot stove content doesn't happen every day. So
We'll be on it when it comes, but
it's not
yeah,
going to be like huge topics or anything
yeah,
like we
for
covered
sure.
the playoffs. But anything you have? beginning of the season?
Like you pretty much just touched on it. Baseball can have some big moments in the off season, some very hot, hot stove-esque minutes,
Yeah.
but it is just that it's minutes. There's times where baseball there's nothing going on. But as far as this off season, I hope just the Braves get one of the big four shortstops. And I hope the Judges sweepstakes are fun to watch. Hopefully a bunch of stuff's coming in. But my hot take for the off season is that the Braves do not re-sign Dansby Swanson.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Do you think that's do you think that's hot? Or I mean, it seems like from
well,
what you've been saying, it's not that hot.
I guess it's not that hot, but I don't have anything hotter.
Yeah.
The only thing that'll get hotter is for me to predict, exactly who we got. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I hope we get one of the other guys, like I said. But my take, I think we definitely let him walk. You'd feel like that deal would be done by now, like with the rest
Yeah.
of the guys at the Braves side. So, but go ahead.
My prediction, not as hot as yours, I guess. I'll just say I've got Judge. He's not going to get the biggest deal ever, but he'll get the biggest average, amount of money per years. So I'll go 10 years, 400 million with the Yankees. So he'll re-sign with the Yankees.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was a great season. Lots of very good memories. I mean, we have fun all the time, and some not good memories,
Yeah.
for both of us.
It's
But
uh, it's
another
it's it's good to cut on.
it's always sad when baseball comes to an end, and I'm thankful for a great season and some great postseason moments. Um, and as for like the hot stove stuff, yeah, there's the judge sweepstakes, and then we have this huge shortstop class. So I'm definitely interested to see like where those guys end up going. Um, because I kind of feel like they're all going to be kind of jumbled. They're all going to be on different teams. I don't
Yeah.
think Trey's going to sign back. Dansby, like you
Or
said,
team guys are going to be switching places,
yeah.
kind of in a weird
Correa
way.
does. Correa definitely doesn't want to go back to the Twins, and we'll see with Bogarts, what he does with the Red Sox.
For
But I
sure.
guess that's kind of our little stamp on baseball. It's fun. Guess we'll give Mikey his little
Yeah, we'll talk some
time
hot stuff.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Well,
but
we can make some predictions and stuff, but let's move on to the here and now, man, which college football. Um, you know, I kind of I said my spiel. Like I said, I'm feeling a little sick, so I don't need to go on and on about Georgia. But everybody knows, I know, Georgia's the best team in the country. Hopefully, they continue that all year long, but especially right now, they're like the talk of the town. After last week, we didn't have a chance
mhm.
against Tennessee, so therein lies the fact that sometimes one week a team's a darling in the country, the next week they're nothing. So Georgia, continue to win. My one mark here was Sanford. It's just almost impossible to win in as a road team. You saw that.
It's impossible. Yeah.
You saw that for Tennessee. I mean, we were there. It was loud. As y'all can hear, I'm sick. It's all a combination of just a big, long, fun weekend. So, but yeah, go Dogs. Great, great game. The college football is a whole lot clearer after this week, and the
Very clear.
Heisman race is now kind of open. So, for that, those two things. Like I said, I'm a Georgia fan, so I feel like we're in pretty much, but we have to continue to take care of business. But you've got all the other teams. You got the Big Ten teams, the Buckeyes and Michigan. You got TCU. You got does Tennessee get in? Does LSU get in somehow? Does the Pac-12 squad? You got UCLA, Oregon, USC. Still have North
Pac-12,
Carolina.
man.
Still have North Carolina and Clemson
North
looming.
Carolina
I mean, this could really finish good. I'm just glad Georgia won, so we're one right now. And then as
and
far as the
Bama
highs,
lost.
yeah, and Bama lost, which is always great. Um, and the last thing I'll have to say about just the Heisman race, it's as open as I've seen. I mean, even Stetson's, odds went from 100 to 1 to 25-1 in just a week. Hooker was a favorite, now he's not. I just feel like
Dude.
a big game for anybody can really propel them. Like if Stroud, he can have one big game against Michigan and it's going to be his award because there's really not such
Well,
an
it's his to
obvious choice this
lose.
year. Yeah,
It's his to
it's his to
lose.
lose, but it's his to lose. But somebody can win it from him. Like Hooker, Hooker was winning it from him. Like
Yeah.
C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud hadn't played bad all year up until last week, but Hooker was taking it from him just because of the nature of playing in bigger games, which is also why I said Stroud would stick around in the talk. Maybe he won't always be the favorite, but he'll stick around because he's not going to screw up, have a terrible game. But I mean, Stetson can still win it. Drake May can still win it. Corum can
Yeah.
still win it. Like this is going to be a very, very interesting finish. So I know I just kind of
And
went on my spiel, TJ, but what you got?
I'll touch on that Heisman because I was, our boys had actually just mentioned in our little group chat about last night about how good Drake May actually
Yeah,
has been, and I did some digging, on his stats, and dude, he's incredible. 33 touchdowns, leads the nation, 3 picks. That's like tied for second,
yep,
and his QBR is second to Stroud. So I guess it's a quarterback award. So I guess you kind of want to give quarterbacks kind of the favorites. I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
I'd say it's either Stroud or May, and if May has a big game in ACC championship, they win out, have a
right.
good college football playoff hype, I guess, then I could see him winning it. I mean, I don't see why not.
Why it's a great year for a guy like that to win it
Yeah,
because you don't have an obvious Joe Burrow, best guy on best team, or like
about to have 50 touchdowns. Yeah, set
or like
records.
a Lamar Jackson who's
Mhm.
hurdling over guys. And no, it's really a wide open. It's kind of unfortunate, you kind of want to have a Superman just to watch as a fan, but I mean, Drake May, but the thing about North Carolina, just like everybody else, they're prone to losing, and he's prone to never be talked about again. Like all these teams, it's so interesting because one week they're like I said, Tennessee's the best team Georgia's ever seen in Sanford Stadium. Then the next week it's like, why did we even think Tennessee could compete with Georgia? Like, and
Yeah,
just forget that I'm a Georgia fan. That happens all across the country. So, and Bo Nix also, by the way.
and I think it's crazy now how like we kind of started talking about TCU a little bit. They're ranked 17th, whatever. They started winning some games.
Right.
We look at them, they're 6-0, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? TCU. Well, you look up now, they're 9-0, and they, like you have here, they control their own destiny, right?
Yeah, I mean that. I guess I should ask you. Maybe you agree with me. For that reason, who is your outside team? I guess meaning not Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan. So not in the top three right now. Who is four and beyond? Who do you think has the best chance of getting in?
Well, like you have here, I would say TCU as well.
Right.
That's just because they control their own destiny. I think that's really all they have going for them.
If they lose, they're
Realistically,
done. But
yeah.
the fact that they're at four says that
And
they do control it.
if they're undefeated, they are getting in.
They're in. That's what the
Yeah.
committee pretty much just said.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I mean, I think Tennessee, if they like show that they can throttle the rest of their opponents, I think they could get in if TCU loses. I think the winner of the Pac-12 can get in. I unfortunately don't think Clemson has really any shot. I think North Carolina, if they win their conference championship, get a little bit of help, then I think they
UNC,
have a
but
chance.
UNC lost to App State, who's not good,
Yeah, that's bad.
not good, and they
But
gave up.
Clemson
Clemson
did
lost
lose to
to
Notre Dame
who's got 4 and 5 stars running around.
and a 4-5 record running around. So
Yeah, that's not that's
they're
not a
two
lot. You can
horrible losses.
Yeah, but you can't compare those losses.
So we're giving the Pac-12 championship champion is going to be over both those teams, I think.
Well, I think that yeah, but well, as it sits today, but that's the thing is that
I
everything keeps
just
changing. Like you could
yes.
look up by the time the Pac-12 title game is even played, all three of those teams could have 2 losses realistically. So
Yeah.
then you're looking at a Pac-12 title with a number 13 Oregon versus number 17 UCLA. Like that's not, or
I
what I
don't
don't know. I don't know that
I
conference works.
just
I could be completely wrong, but the point is
it's no
that
longer North and South. So they're all in the same.
okay, so they could play anybody. So the point
Yeah.
is that they could all have
It's
two
going to be the two
losses,
best teams, yeah.
and that's over. And then you also have LSU with 2 losses that could get in if they beat Georgia. So it's like everything will clear itself up. But for now, it does look it's clearer than it was last week to me. But it's definitely still for those outsider teams, not 1, 2, and 3, but 4 to about 8 right now. Even Alabama's praying to God they can get in somehow. I don't think they can get in, but
No, yeah.
there's still a lot of teams that if if XYZ happens, we're in, right? So
I just
I
think the committee kind of showed that like they're done with Clemson. You know what I mean? There's two Pac-12 teams above them, which means there's a higher chance that one of those teams wins their conference championship, has that Pac-12 championship, and then Clemson,
I think
with a
putting them
horrible
at
loss. Like how I just don't like see how you're,
putting
Clemson
them
lost to Notre Dame and
putting them at 10.
Oregon lost to Georgia. Like other than Georgia, they have 44 points,
Right, right, right,
55,
right.
47,
I'm not.
50.
I don't think that Clemson's going to get in above those teams, TJ.
Okay, well,
I just say they
I feel
have a
like
chance to get in if XYZ happens, which
X, Y,
XYZ.
Z, A, B, C, D, E,
No,
F,
no, no.
G,
There's not
H.
that many. There's not that many. Wait, TCU's gonna lose. I'm saying it right now. TCU's going to lose, whether it's in the
Who
regular
though? Who
season.
are they going to lose to?
They're going to lose either in the regular season or in the Big 12 title game.
I
So
don't
they're
think
gonna lose, and then they're not good. They're not really that good of a football team.
they're not good,
They had to squeak
but
by, some guys. So I could look
every
like a
team has to squeak by guys, man. I just
okay.
every
Well,
team
I
has to
think they're
squeak
gonna
by.
lose. Okay, TCU
Okay,
loses. All three of those
then
Pac-12 teams lose. Clemson's in
all
as a
three of
conference
them.
championship. Yeah, that's
So
I'm not. I just
one
said
of
that.
those teams is going to lose to Stanford.
Well, they have one of them has to
One of the,
lose. So one of them has to lose, right, in the
yeah.
championship game. So they have two losses. So that's another team. So Clemson to me is really at 8 right now, praying to God that something crazy happens. And then maybe the committee thinks that Ohio State losing to Michigan, maybe they
Mm-mm.
think that one loss
No.
they won't, but maybe. You don't know. Maybe. So, but yeah,
Well,
that's yeah. It doesn't. I guess we just went on, but it's just very, very interesting to see how this will finish for
yeah,
sure.
and I'll say yeah. So we were watching the show last night, and Herb Street was kind of talking about it, just the kind of who gets in, who stays in, who gets booted. He was talking about how it's really early, like beginning of November is kind of against the norm of when like things really start to shake up. So I think that means the finish is just going to be, even better.
Yep, yep. I mean, it's. I'm liking how it's starting to look
Yeah.
For Georgia for sure. But yeah, man, like I said, that's just an example. Our conversation there, that's just an example of kind of how crazy it can get and how, or
Mhm.
on your side, how it couldn't get crazy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like it could get wild, or it could just the four that's this week could be the four that ends up being the final four. So
Yes. Yes, you're right.
for
I think
sure,
that could very well happen. Or the top five is really the top four. Just one of them's going to be out, and then that's that.
somebody's gonna be crying on the sideline. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's pretty good stuff right there, TJ. How about let's move on to some
Yeah,
some pro some
that's
pro action, man.
some pro action. Yeah. So another great NFL Sunday. Like I said earlier, just they never disappoint, man. Just the content, it
It's the best.
always it's always has drama. And I guess, we are kind of a little late, but nevertheless, the Rams go to Tampa. Tampa Bay wins after Brady's just miraculous comeback. After the Rams get a red zone stand, which I thought just absolutely sealed the game. Ramsey
Right,
makes a great play. It's 4th and goal. They run 3 plays, and that's that.
right.
Um, but
But
yeah, this
nope,
one
number 12's playing for the Bucks, man.
I know I should have known, but this one is really sad for the Rams. They didn't play well on offense at all, but their defense stepped up the entire game, set that last drive, and it should have ended in a win. It would have been a great road win for them. And for the Bucks, man, I don't know. This was an insane touchdown drive down the game, but they didn't look very good either. Both these teams still have a lot to figure out. I mean, when are the Rams going to get it going? They just won the Super Bowl. Like, are
Maybe,
they
maybe,
done?
maybe they don't. I mean, I just said they're done. 3-6.
Yeah.
My fantasy team is 3-6. We're talking about, packing it in. So I'm gonna say the Rams are gonna have to start talking about packing it in. Stafford's now in concussion protocol, so they're about to go into a game with a backup when they're really not, being productive offensively right now. So
They're
they
playing the
may,
Cardinals, though.
yeah, but the
So
Cardinals are, but that's a tough matchup because the Cardinals are a team who are feeling pretty embarrassed right about now. For all the stars the Rams have, they are just not playing well this year. As far as the Bucks, yeah, they're still around. I mean, I would say they're better than the Falcons. It hurts to say that, but they're a better team than we are, and they still, they have Tom Brady and Chris Godwin said on
mhm.
their final drive, he's mic'd up. I saw this today on Twitter, and he said to Mike Evans, this will change the game. This before the final drive. He said, this will change the game. And then Evans was like, yeah, but then God was like, no, not just this game. Like this drive could change the season. A big drive like that could turn you from looking at 4-5, you turn around, you're 8-5. And it's like, okay, we're one win away from the
Yeah.
playoffs. So You
And
know,
then
I think the
everyone
Bucks.
else is upset because here comes Brady back into the playoffs with a head full of steam.
Right, right. I mean, the Bucks are as well alive as anybody right now, and the Rams are dead to me. But
Okay, so yeah, you think I guess the Bucks have an easier route to the playoffs. I think that's
just the
pretty
as far as
obvious.
the look at the records. I mean, the records say it all.
Yes, yeah, I agree, but the Seahawks are 6-3, right?
Yeah,
The 49ers are only 4-4. So that's not the best, but they are definitely a better team. And then I guess even the Cardinals might end up being better than them.
right.
I think the Cardinals are 3-6, right? Or are they
They
2-7?
they might be 2-7, but let's see. Arizona Cardinals. They are 3-6.
Okay, so
3-6. Yeah,
pretty big game.
yeah. A
But
huge
I
game.
think so. I think the Rams though they kind of have the same problem as the Bucks. I think they have a better defense, but like their issues are just the offensive line. They have no run game. They don't have a mobile quarterback. Like their guys are just getting eaten up in the
Right.
pocket, and these aren't quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Hurts, guys that can run around, scramble, make plays. Josh Allen. Um,
Hurts. Wow. From
I
from
know,
you.
I know,
Jeez.
sad.
Nah, but
But
you do make a point though for sure.
all right. Yeah.
So
I guess we should move on though.
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
kind of
So
screw
so
that game.
yeah, Bucks are alive. Rams are dead for sure.
Okay.
What about Sunday night?
Yeah.
This game was good, kind of intriguing for both of us.
Yeah. As you were sleeping through the best part of the game, but
Yeah.
so yeah, crazy Sunday night matchup between Kansas City and Tennessee. Mahomes throws for almost 450 yards. I think it was 446, and he utilizes his legs and comeback. During a comeback in regulation, and then leads a drive in overtime to where they kick a field goal. Their defense had a big stop, and then that was the game. So I guess the question here is Mahomes MVP? What do you think?
Um, Today Patrick Mahomes is definitely my MVP. Allen's been struggling. I heard something today. I have seen and I've been hearing guys talk about his interception problems. Now you're looking at him
Mhm.
maybe getting hurt, which is unfortunate, but that'll probably take him out of the race if he really does miss time. But as far as my season MVP, I still think if the Ravens can make the playoffs, Lamar will probably get it. Hopefully, I like Lamar. He's probably my favorite player. But yeah, Mahomes is definitely my MVP if it ended today.
Yeah, so I've actually heard a lot of stuff, kind of just watching ESPN and stuff this past week, and guys are just talking about how like Mahomes is so good that like they're doing this thing where they try and give all these other quarterbacks
Right? Yeah, yeah.
kudos. Like Hurts, dude, is not anywhere near Mahomes. Like
Herbert.
Allen might not even be anywhere near Mahomes. Like it's Mahomes, and
Right.
if he continues to dominate and ends up, I think he continues to dominate and end up topping Allen and Hurts in the end.
Yeah.
But I guess for this game in particular, I don't want it to be like us, sucking off the Chiefs. This was a great game by the Titans. I mean, they held them
They got a good
consecutive
coach, man.
drives, seven consecutive drives without scoring.
Right.
And this is a Chiefs team that in 2020 scored a touchdown on seven consecutive drives in the playoffs and then
Right.
end up winning the Super Bowl. But like, yeah, for the Mahomes MVP, absolutely. I mean, he's just a magician. They don't even run the ball anymore at all. Throws the
They,
ball 68 times for 446 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and then of course his legs, 63 yards, a touchdown, the game tying touchdown and 2-point conversion,
beast.
both with his legs. Um, and yeah, he picks apart defenses. It's nothing you know can even imagine. Like, while I was watching the game, we were kind of talking about it earlier, like how him and Kelsey kind of weren't on the same page, and I kind of noticed that too. Um, in the later part of the game,
Yeah.
where he started to go to him more, but he was really utilizing his receivers. I mean, Smith Schuster, Hardman, all these guys.
Well, they're all definitely starting to gel right now for
Yeah,
sure. But shout out the Titans. I don't. I said that. I think they're a quarterback away, but I don't mean getting Ryan Tannehill back. They need to get somebody else.
no,
Maybe it is
I
Willis, but I
I
think
agree, but go ahead.
if they had like if they had a top flight, if they had a Dak Prescott or whatever,
They
like
need a top 15 quarterback,
yeah,
and they would
right,
be
right.
good.
They don't have to have Allen, but
But I'll say, dude, like Malik Willis, not good at all. Like, not good at all,
he's
at all.
that's a tough
It's
that's his
not
first
though.
career
I know
start,
he's
bro.
I
Like
know he's got no weapons.
At the Chiefs, man. Give the
Uh,
guy a little bit of, at
I can't,
Arrowhead.
man. I can't, man. He made no plays.
He
Zero
made a
plays.
bunch of plays with his legs.
Dude, no. Henry had 2 rushing touchdowns. That was their offense.
Yeah, but I mean, it's his first start on the road at
I but
Kansas
I
City,
think
dude.
but I think if they have Tannehill, Tannehill makes maybe just one play.
Yeah, but
One
yeah,
third down play
Tannehill wins that game for
and
him,
it
possibly. Yeah, I'm not saying
dynamic
that.
of the game.
Yeah, there's no question who the better quarterback between the two of them is, but dude, give him a second to breathe, man. Like, jeez.
I don't think the Chiefs defense is that good. I think that's their one kind of flaw. And
Well,
he kind of
okay.
made him look really good through the air. No one wanted to tackle Henry, but that's kind of understandable.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, they definitely could have used Tannehill Sunday night. But
Yeah.
what about the Bills? Speaking of
The
Josh Allen, man.
Jets. The Jets stunned the Bills. And this was kind of on Allen. He didn't play very good. They were on the
Yep.
they were on the road, but he threw 2 picks. Threw for only like 220 yards, I think. So yeah, not very good. But I think we need to start giving the Jets a little bit of credit. They're a good, hard-nosed football team. Uh, they have Sauce Gardner. He's been really good for them. Wilson's been all right. I mean, they have good running backs, a great coach.
Looks like they got a good coach, man.
I'm not saying they're going to make noise, but because that definitely is still the Bills' division. But I mean, they could make a wild card.
No, they definitely could.
Go on the road to Cincinnati or Baltimore and lose by 40, but that's that's pretty good.
They made making the playoffs. Shout out the Jets, man. But to me, man, a game like this it just outlines, man, that Patriots dynasty was something because, dude, they dominated that division, and people started talking
Yeah.
about, even me, talking about how the Bills were the next Pats. Well, for what I know, the Bills have dropped 2 divisional games this season. So,
Yes.
I mean, man, that's just awesome. Just looking back at that, but that isn't taking anything away from Josh Allen and the Bills. Their priority right now should be just get him healthy. They want that home game against the Chiefs possibly, but I think they can win on the road. They've already shown you they can win on the road in Kansas City, so they're a team that's good enough to win home or away. So their number one priority right now should be health. And shout out to the Jets. That's a great win for organizational confidence and right now going forward. So both these teams
And
are good. I agree with your Jets take though for sure.
I mean, apparently though, like Allen has got an injury now, and that if Allen's injured, they're done. But to touch on your like Patriots dominance point, I think you're absolutely right. Like you said, the Bills have dropped 2 division games already, dude. The Patriots would never ever lose in the
Right.
division. The Dolphins never beat them. The Bills never beat them.
The
The
Jets never
Jets
beat them.
sure as hell didn't even get close to beating them with all those horrible teams they
Yeah,
had.
yeah, like they'd run through the division undefeated or one loss like every year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what we expected from the Bills, but it's just not how it works, And Brady just showed you, like, I don't care how it works. Like, this is how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's just
And
impressive. A little throwback there for sure.
yeah, as if we need to, go back to Brady's true greatness.
Right.
Like he didn't just
Have a
no
fourth quarter
timeouts at
comeback.
35 seconds and just dude, it was honestly unreal watching that. Like I'm sorry I'm getting off topic a little bit,
No,
but
you're just reminded of his
I was in the
greatness
I was
constantly.
in the gym, like first play he goes 45 yards to some no name, like
Otten,
little white kid.
Kate
And they
Otten.
start and then they start like working down the sidelines, and the Rams are just playing soft as can be. And then they're in the red zone, and boom, game's
Touchdown.
over. Well, there was a penalty that he tried to go to Evans. There was a defensive pass interference. They got the ball on the 1 yard line.
That's all
Then I
she
was
wrote.
like, yep, that's about all she wrote. But any other takeaways from Sunday for you?
I mean, man, I know you want to talk about Green Bay, so I'm gonna let you start on Green Bay. But those games, I mean, it's just another good Sunday, man.
Yeah, Green Bay loses again. I mean, this has to be that, definitely Rodgers' worst start of this year, but maybe even his career. This was pathetic, dude. The Lions, I mean, dude, I can't even put it into words. Like the Lions are an organization that no one should be dominated by. And Green Bay was dominated in this game. I saw the end of it. I mean, dude, they were like locking up their, receivers. I know Green Bay doesn't have the best receivers,
No, but
but
they should be getting past Detroit.
yeah,
Yes.
like Rodgers, what are you doing, man? Like you need to retire or something. My Cowboys play Green Bay this week, but dude, I don't even care if they win or lose. Like
Y'all,
Rodgers
y'all aren't gonna
sucks.
y'all aren't gonna lose to them. Like
Probably not.
this is gonna be y'all are gonna whip
This
them.
is gonna be the nail
This is gonna
in the
be the
coffin,
nail. This is gonna
dude.
be the nail.
I would love that.
No, like
And
y'all are gonna whip them. If I had to
if
guess.
if Owen Mazenetz is watching this, if we put the nail in Rodgers' career, dude, you better run forever because Rodgers does not stand out any more than anyone else. So, in my opinion, like
No.
all-time great quarterbacks, dude, you just
Philip Rivers. I mean, he's just
yeah.
like Philip Rivers. Like
And Eli Manning, like come on,
Eli's
Rodgers.
better actually. That's disrespectful to Manning.
You have you have 4 MVPs, man. Like you've done my team up so many times,
But you can't win the
but you
big ones.
lose to the Lions. The Lions with the worst defense in the NFL.
Like by a wide
A
margin.
large margin. And it's not even like the Lions scored very much. It was a low scoring game. Like, dude, you had to see Rodgers picks. Like they were horrible.
Dude, I saw him.
Bakhtiari wide open in the end zone. And it's just right in the hands of the Lions.
No, it's fun to watch, bro. Like Owen talked all that smoke. It's just crazy that I can't believe the headlines like considering sitting him like for Jordan
Yeah.
Love. But
And
I don't blame any one guy for their struggles. I blame their front office. So
I blame their front office as well. They have to make a move. I'll say one last point about Green Bay. I hope for all the Green Bay fans out there watching, I hope your franchise suffers after he's done playing because it's very, very rare that you get back to back to back Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You're not going to get it again. And I don't think you capitalized enough on it. So I hope they go into a crazy drought of losing. People stop going to Lambeau and Green Bay's done.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Maybe the losing, but not the Lambo. How
Maybe
about
it's just
how about yeah, let's all right,
pipe
Packers,
it down a little.
show us Green Bay. But
Dude,
you know,
you have had money on Green Bay like three to
yeah,
four.
dude, I know. I don't like them. I don't like
Like,
the
how are
Packers.
you not as upset? Well, I guess you can't be as happy as me because you lost money, but upset as me. Like, come on, man.
No, I am. I am. I'm just, my it is what it is. Like Aaron Rodgers, you suck, bro. Like that's just all I had to say. I haven't been, my team usually beats Green Bay, TJ. So I feel like you have some emotional damage there for sure. But
It's just because okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kind of throw a crazy stray, but they just compare the Packers to the Cowboys a lot. They have the same amount of championships, a lot of Hall of Fame players, things like that. The history between the Packers and Cowboys is very staunch, I guess.
yeah,
So
it's been all Packers our lifetimes. But how about
as
Seattle, man? Let's give them a shout out. I think they're gonna win the division at this point. Like I said, the Rams are dead. The Cardinals suck. The Niners always drop games they shouldn't. They'll probably drop a game to Seattle. They're playing good. And dude, the thing that I read today, apparently, like Russell Wilson, like I guess people probably knew this, but like Russell never listened to their coaches, apparently, and that's all. Like Gino's just
yeah,
going by
listening
script. No, like listening and calling the plays, like. And the thing that we're forgetting about Seattle, forget about Gino, forget the offense, forget just the fact that you may think that they're fluky. Like they have one of the greatest coaches of maybe of all time and on college football level and NFL and definitely of our lifetime. Like this
yeah.
isn't a fluke. Like he knows how to build a winner. So let's give Seattle some credit. Like I think they're going to be the division
And
champs.
yeah, I can agree there. Dolphins Bears, crazy shootout. Fields breaks the rushing yards in a game by quarterback 178. That's crazy. I guess let's kind of finish up here.
Yeah.
Um, so we
Yeah.
had props on Thursday. My prop was ETN to rush for over 80 and a half yards. He ended up with 109 and a touchdown. What was yours on Thursday?
Mine was Miles Sanders over 80.5 rushing on Thursday night. Smacked 4-1. You're 4-0, dude. We give out some freaking
We
winners.
give out winners,
By the
baby.
way, like
We sure do.
like that's not like dude, 8-1 is crazy, TJ.
Yeah,
4-0 is
that's
crazy. Eight and
but
one is crazy.
I just like it's just kind of a toss up. But anything else you have, I'm kind of done. So
Um yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, NBA, you know what's going on, and I just want to give a shout out. I have a new team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. So go Leafs. Y'all have a great Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Y'all enjoy us. Thanks for watching.
Hawks, Hawks,
Appreciate it.
Hawks beat Giannis, and I know